all of you revolutionary forces for radical economic transformation, nyani bingelela. When they removed President Zuma, they said he is bad for the economy, he is bad for governance. President Zuma can report today that in fact the economy is down, the rent is down, VAT is up, petrol is up. Ramaphosa, we are more. Welcome to another podcast, Andile Mngxitama podcast. Today we're going to discuss a very sensitive matter. Is President Ramaphosa a killer? Does President Ramaphosa murder people? Well, let's start with the well-known case of the Marikana massacre. You know, in Marikana, workers there were in a protracted struggle for the improvement of their living conditions and for wages. They wanted a flat rate of 12,500 rand minimum wage for all. They went on to strike. They dig in for months. And the company which they were striking against is Lonmin, a company where President Ramaphosa had 12% shares. We know that Ramaphosa actually, when President Zuma was out of the country, he sent that SMS, rather email, to the Minister of Police to say now we need concomitant action. And as a consequence of his intervention, putting pressure on the state to act, 35 mine workers were murdered in Marikana. There's a direct relationship between the instructions and the interests of President Ramaphosa and the murder of those workers in Marikana. There is no other way than seeing that Ramaphosa's hand was involved in the murder of workers in Marikana. And we know that he has not accounted for the murder of people in Marikana. No one has been held responsible for this. But fast forward to the times of the Zondo Commission. A white man called Gavin Watson, who was the Bosasa boss and who had given money to President Ramaphosa's campaign and also through the son, he was to appear before the commission. And Gavin Watson dies in a manner which is questionable. There he was driving to the airport and apparently he met his end there through very suspicious circumstances. Gavin Watson was a key witness to tell the nation about how Ramaphosa benefited from the Bosasa corruption. But before he was able to do so, he was taken out. So many people believe. Again, the hand of the president of the country is seen very closely to what happened there. Of course, there's a conspiracy that Gavin Watson is on holiday, that to remove him, they created these conditions that somebody had died and they whisked him out of the country. He's enjoying his life in the Bahamas. It is a conspiracy theory, but whether it is true or not, the important thing is the fact that there has been a removal of a key figure in the process of exposing the corruption linked to the president. I believe Gavin Watson was murdered by this mafia that kills people that threaten its interests. Gavin Watson had very solid evidence. He gave the CR17 money, and we know that money came from corruption. And since the president of the country is a clean man, he removed the problem that may have exposed him as a corrupt figure. Then linked to that, CR17 is a lawyer, a white man, who was organizing legally the whole instrument of how the monies are going to be held. This lawyer, Farber, a Jewish guy, died under mysterious situations, and he was buried very quickly. And the cause of his death, who caused it, it's all matter which is hidden. The police are not following that case. There is no feedback about anyone being investigated, despite the fact that he was a healthy man and he died just like that, raising big questions about whether people who have some information that can damage the president get eliminated. Let us fast forward to another case with the Tembisa hospital corruption. You know, there up to 800 million rand tenders were irregularly awarded to a relative of the president of the country, a relative through his ex-wife. One of the children of the sons of the ex-wife got involved in those tenders, which are claimed to total over 800 million. Now, there was a woman who worked in the system, Babita, who wanted to expose this corruption. One morning after she had dropped the children from school, she comes home and she was shot and murdered. Clearly, they were removing the evidence that links them to the more than 800 million COVID funds, which supposed to go to the hospital, but were siphoned off through corrupt means. And this whistleblower, Babita, was murdered cold-bloodedly. And the person who was standing in court is related to the president of the country, raising serious questions about whether President Ramaphosa's hand is involved in the murder of this witness. So you have a long list of people who, when they threaten or are potential threats to President Ramaphosa, they simply get eliminated. It cannot be that there is no resolution on the Gavin Watson matter. How can a man just die like that and nothing happens? How can it be that we have a situation of a lawyer who dies under a mysterious situation and there is no follow-up? There is no one held responsible for the murder of our people in Marikana. Now there is the whistleblower who also gets eliminated like that. And all these things go back and are linked to the president of the country. That makes us ask the question, is Ramaphosa a murderer? Does Ramaphosa remove from society those who threaten his interests? So we can claim, therefore, that there's a mafia which operates within the state system to protect the president. And when the president is under attack, they come and to clean. And they clean in such a way that even murder is contemplated and executed. So we can claim, therefore, that we are under a proper mafia state, where the president of the country, when his interests are threatened, when there's moves to expose him, people die, and nothing happens by way of following up on those cases to get the culprits to book. We can't say there can't be no progress in the murder of Gavin Watson. We all saw him. We all saw the car. It was going to the airport. There's some evidence that he was talking to some people, and we know that he was supposed to go before the Zondo Commission. We need to ask, what was he going to say there? Where is the affidavit that he must have prepared to expose that corruption and to confirm that money moved from Bosasa to the CR17 campaign? But a dead man tells no tales. So today, the man is dead. The lawyer, who also was at the center of the CR17 fundraising efforts, also died mysteriously and was buried almost immediately. We also see now the whistleblower of the Tembisa matter dying like that. And in the dock, we see a relative of the president. All
of you revolutionary forces for radical economic transformation, Nyani Bingelela. When they removed President Zuma, they said he is bad for the economy, he is bad for governance. President Zuma can report today that in fact the economy is down, the rent is down, VAT is up, petrol is up. Ramaphosa, we are more.